Hello and welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan. Week 10 preview coming at you this time. I'm Slim, he's Slam, and to my left, that is the Bandwagon fan. As always, brought to you proudly by the Jersey Cartel on Facebook. Be sure to check them out. But boys, how are we?
Good, Blaze. Now, as you might have noticed, I'm wearing my tour Guernsey again. And I've decided that I'm going to wear it once a week until he loses the game.
Right, so you're just going to ride that wave until it just
It's
crashes.
also good to get out the merch, Blaze.
Yes, it's always good to plug the sponsor.
Keep the sponsors happy.
That's very good work from you, big fellow. How are you tracking?
I'm doing quite well, thanks.
Yeah,
doing
good.
Quite well.
Happy?
Just,
cruising?
simmering along.
Trying to stay cool in the
Trying
hot
to stay
box?
cool. Don't want to explode at anyone this week.
No.
So
That's
see
why
what
he's got a
happens.
shirt with holes in it now, Blaze.
Ah, very good. Some aeration.
Got rid of the long sleeve shirt from last episode.
Might have been a bit of a bad call on that one.
Wasn't, very bad call.
Yeah, did come back to bite us.
It is already hot in here, though.
It is hot. It's gonna continue to
Bit of a
rise.
heat wave in Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely. But
The mugginess outside is making me sick.
stormy and tropical at the moment, I would say.
I hate it.
It's going to heat up a little bit now because the Elite 8 is on the way. Now, we've had some movement.
Yep.
You didn't mind that segment?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
segment?
great.
No, good? All right. You can take the Bills for that in number 8.
Now everyone knows who it is.
Yeah.
Right. So this week at number 8, we've got the Bills. Why? Because they just beat the Seahawks, who were our number 3 team overall in the Elite 8 power rankings. They might not be anymore. But, so the Bills there at 8. Great game from the Bills on the weekend. Absolute air raid offense. Did absolutely everything they really wanted. The game was nowhere near as close as it looked on the score sheet at the end of the game due to a few late touchdowns there. But the Bills just massively got back on track on both sides of the ball. Defense played way better than they had been, and the offense played much better than they had been as well. Sort of just been stuttering along sort of thing. Not doing too much. Still winning games, but just not playing quite up to their potential.
We've mentioned in the past about chasing a marquee win. I think they've got it there. But
Absolutely.
one's not enough. Now you move on to the next stage.
And
of
they've got
journey,
the Cardinals
I guess.
this weekend. So and that's a road game. So that's also a massive test.
Yeah, it's another good chance for them to show us that they're the real
Solidify
deal.
their position.
They mean business this year, and they've got the pieces to threaten. So watch your space with them coming in at 8, and now 7 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I don't know how it's ended up that I've got to handle these boys, but anyway, they're down 2 after their disappointing game against the Saints. They hold their position in the Elite 8 based on the year they've had so far. It's not chucking the baby out with the bathwater just yet with that
That's a
team.
good squad still.
100%. Yeah, they've still got some players, and obviously, Antonio Brown's going to work his way into that offense. You don't expect Tom Brady to ever be that poor, probably for the remainder of his career again.
Don't say never.
Yeah, don't say never. Yeah, maybe not. But hey, I think with them, it's going to be a bit of watch this space from here on out. That division is now a real tough ask, having been swept by the Saints. So it's going to be tricky if they do want to make some waves when it comes to playoff time. They're probably going to have a road game in there and alike. So, watch your space with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, we're not writing them off just yet. Schnazzy?
We're certainly not. And because they beat the Bucks on the weekend pretty handsomely, the Saints slide in at number 6.
Beautiful. Yep.
Flying up.
They were, on the outer last week, and we called it. We said they had a big week. We said the Saints and the Bills and the Packers were the 3 outer teams on the outer, and they all had good wins.
They did.
So maybe that's a good sign of things to come if you're on the outer.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll touch on the outer at the end, but the Saints, unbelievable on the weekend.
Yep.
Taysom Hill just did whatever he wanted to
Correct.
do. He's done that twice against the Bucks this year.
It's a favourable matchup, isn't it?
It is. They had Michael Thomas back on the weekend. They had Emmanuel Sanders back. Their defense looked unreal. We
Just starting to click.
Yeah.
mentioned in the last show that Lattimore was just all over
Oh, yeah.
Mike Evans. So one thing to say though, the Brown on the Bucks did look okay.
Did look okay. You'd be happy with his output in
Yeah.
that first
No
showing.
outbursts as well.
Well, it's only
which
going to
is
get
good.
better from there, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And considering the night that TB12 had under
Yeah.
center, it wasn't fantastic.
Not detracting from the Saints though, but
Nope.
Saints blew them out of the park in the first quarter or
Absolutely.
the first half, and then just did what they needed to from there. And
Correct.
once again, Kamara played well. You chucked in Michael Thomas now for his first game of the season. Only took 9 weeks for us to see him, but we've seen him.
When they've got that full suite of weaponry, and then obviously Drew Brees, by virtue of that, looked better anyway, but he did play up as well. He looked really good on Sunday Night Football.
Yes, yeah, he definitely did. You're right there, Blaze. Now, coming in at 5 this week, up 2 spots, are the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
After a pretty good win, pretty convincing win over Chicago on the weekend. Did what they had to do. Tannehill was nothing special, but just, as I said, did what they had to do. just did the bare minimum and got over the line there. Bare minimum. Do you
Bare
like that?
minimum. Yeah, not bad from you. I feel like they just ticked a box.
Yeah,
in a lot of
absolutely.
ways,
Just rock
like-
up, get the job done, and go home. Don't get any injuries, and just
Yep.
get out of there scot-free. So they're pretty good from the Titans there.
Happy days in Tennessee.
Yeah, they've been pretty happy with that. Sitting at top of their division there, so not too far away.
Big
Just
matchup,
got
big divisional matchup this week.
Yep,
which
so-
we'll get to.
6-2 now.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
be. So
I
it's all going to come down to seeding in the AFC. So it's going to
Yeah.
be really important. Those 4 or 5 teams up the top of there, really important for seeding in that. With all 4 divisions in the AFC have got a team that's pretty much got. I think every division would have a team that's got 2 losses or less.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
There's some pretty good teams in the AFC this year, so it's going to come down to be very important to
probably a bit of a flip
make
on
sure you
this.
win all the games you need to win.
I don't know, it was a little bit of a sidebar. It's a bit of a flip on the standard kind of narrative with the NFL. Certainly in recent times, the NFC's been the real power.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
So that's kind of flipped on its head a little bit. With that said, the last remaining NFC team that we've got is the Seattle Seahawks. They're coming in at 4 here, and they're down one spot from the 3rd position from last week. Excuse me. Obviously, a bit of a disappointing loss to the Bills there. Getting outgunned, I would say. I think the Buffalo defense really played up and did a good job. However, the Seattle Seahawks still have plenty in the tank. Don't get me wrong. Russell Wilson was under pressure and made a few mistakes, but you don't get that very often from Russ, and I wouldn't expect it to happen again this week coming. But hey, we'll just wait and see. Are they? Yes, they got the Rams.
Seahawks
So
got the
yeah,
Rams,
we'll have to wait and see on that one. Sorry for that little sidebar, but I'm looking forward to seeing DK Metcalf again. I think he's becoming much-watched television.
Absolutely.
That wide receiver core with Locker and all the rest of it is starting to come along. If Chris Carson can get back in, I think the Seahawks will be a
he
red
was
hot
injured on
shot.
the weekend, so
Yeah, he was.
Good to get him back
So
in.
that would be really good for them. But watch this space with the Seattle Seahawks coming in at number 4 this
One
week.
player I've really liked from the Seahawks this year, who I sort of wrote off, was Greg Olsen.
Yeah, not bad.
He's been handy, but I
Yep.
suppose Wilson makes everyone look good.
Greg Olsen's always going to be handy as long as Greg Olsen can keep Greg Olsen's body fit.
Yeah, not a bad call.
That's what it comes down to.
Not a
And
bad
actually, Carlos Dunlap played his first game for the Seahawks on the weekend as well.
He did. He recently
So that'll-
acquired from
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
that'll
Washington,
be
but
that should help out their defense there a little bit, where they did have definitely a glaring need.
still holes everywhere.
Yeah.
3.
But there's one less.
Ravens.
Yep.
They are up 1 from last week. Not much can be said that hasn't already been said about the Ravens. They are ultra consistent. They are one of the best teams. Any side below them, they seem to deal with pretty easily. It's the sides above them, those tier 1 type teams which you talked about before. Just can't seem to get through them, and maybe that's because of their passing game. I'm still going to ask for it. I'm still going to call for it.
Yeah.
I really want to see them stop running the ball as much and maybe get some of these lower ranked teams. Just start throwing the ball and build the confidence in Lamar, because that's what they're going to need in the playoffs. They're going to be behind in some of these games against, if they end up playing the Chiefs or the Steelers.
If you're a true one trick pony,
Yep.
you become more predictable. And I think in the NFL, when you've got these defenses that are so well trained, that are so well coached and coordinated and all the rest of it, if you are predictable, it can become a bit too easy to
No
handle.
doubt, Blaze, no
I think
doubt.
That might be something to do with what they're going through at the moment.
And I think it works against your favour if a team sets out to deliberately take that thing away from you and force you to do the other things you don't want to do. It makes it much harder for you to win. You need to be balanced. There's no doubt
And
about
if you don't have that.
Now, speaking of balance, Blaze, this team's got plenty of it. The
Oh,
Pittsburgh
yeah.
Steelers, they are balanced on offense and defense, on rushing and receiving the ball.
Yep.
They do pretty much everything well, the Steelers.
They do.
That being said, they got out of jail on the weekend. No
100%.
doubt. Absolutely
100%.
no doubt about that. But sometimes you have those games, and if you can get out of there with a win when you really haven't played very well, probably speaks to how well you're going, and that you can get those wins when maybe you didn't really deserve them.
Yeah.
So that's a good win for them there. They'll stay at number 2 in the power rankings, and that's because the team at number 1's just flying, Blaze.
Of course they are. In some respects, the Steelers might have been able to make a bit of a case for number 1 with that record if they had put in a really commanding performance against the Cowboys in a week where the Chiefs just got over the line against the Panthers by 2. However, that wasn't the case. The Cowboys took them the whole way, and the Chiefs also got the win. So the Chiefs will remain at number 1, headed up by obviously Patrick Mahomes, who we've raised recently as starting to encroach on that MVP conversation, or at least raising it to people's attention that he should be getting more attention to it than they probably already is, with the regression of Russell Wilson and alike in the last couple of weeks. However, it's not just about Patrick. I think there's obviously so many different weapons, and with Mecole Hardman really coming along this year. Obviously, the addition of Lev Bell, who's starting to learn the offense. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is number 4 in the league for rushing yards at the moment.
It'd be around that, Blaze. Yeah,
I
you're not
think.
wrong. Didn't have a great game on the weekend. Only
No,
had about 18
close.
yards, but he wasn't really asked to do very
And
much.
Travis
there on the
Kelce is
weekend, so-
also lurking there at number 3 in the league.
which is
So
massive for a tight end to be in those
Yep.
that sort of numbers realm.
He's Paddy's favourite. No, like they just
Yeah,
they
him and
obviously-
Tyreek is goals.
They
no
obviously
doubt.
get on so well. So I think the defense, as Schnazi touched on, probably coughed up more points to the Panthers than they would have liked. And that would obviously cause some concern for a few folks. But I think they'll be just fine moving forward.
Looking at the bigger picture here with the Chiefs, sorry
Yep.
to cut you off.
No, of course.
Slammer, they're 14-1 in their last 15 games. Is that correct?
17-1 in their last 18.
17-1 in their last
Yeah.
18, so 14-1 in their last 15 was probably correct as well.
That is, the math
Get-
doesn't
getting-
lie there.
It adds up.
Getting past that because they already lost.
Mathematics.
But until the Chiefs do something just to show us they're not the number one side, or a team just plays out of their skin, we're not really going to move them.
No,
We can't.
They're playing too well. Like if they were just scraping past and not playing very well, maybe you could think about moving. But
But
at the
their
moment-
roster,
Yeah.
roster is just stacked.
Yeah, they're just
They've got the
stacked.
best quarterback in the league.
You just keep coming back to, and I said this to Chuck when we were watching the Super Bowl last year, and it was a bit doom and gloom going into the last quarter.
Yeah.
And I did mention in
there were
passing
suicidal
to-
thoughts,
yeah,
no
of
doubt.
course. Yeah. Well, maybe that's a bit dark and heavy for a
No, but they were there.
podcast. But anyway,
Maybe not for you, but they were there.
my main point there was that I like the team with the better quarterback is always going
Yep.
to have that. To me,
They're
anyway,
in it. They're still
always
in it. Yeah, you're not
And I
right.
think with Patrick there, and then obviously when you add in all these other variables in terms of weapons and defense and special teams play, which is always outstanding, it's just so hard to bet against them. It is so hard to move them out
Yeah.
of number one, unless I think the Steelers probably at this stage are the only team that can really make that case.
I think what it boils down to here, Blaze, if we had to choose between the Steelers and the Chiefs for our number one spot, if we said right now Steelers versus Chiefs, I think we'd all be picking the Chiefs.
I think so.
Yeah, even if the AFC title game was in Pittsburgh, Chiefs at Steelers, I'd still be taking the Chiefs. So I think that's why they have to be the number one team.
that would be
at
the
moment
only
in our
game
league.
where I'd second guess picking the Chiefs.
If it was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it harder, but I think I would still be erring on the side. And I think even the bookies would probably still be erring on the side of the Chiefs there.
100% would.
We've
Yeah.
mentioned previously if that matchup was to eventuate in the playoffs, as much as it would make me and Chucky pretty jumpy, I think it would be a really good spectacle for.
It would, but it wouldn't be a good week in the Osmond household.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
It'd be tight.
it wouldn't. Yeah.
Tight and tense.
Yeah, it wouldn't be speaking to the old man too much there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
Right
Yeah.
over BT's head.
I
He's
missed-
agreed with it, but he didn't know what I meant.
No, I
I love that.
I thought you'd be bumping around just a bit nervous and stuff like that. That's how I was interpreting that.
Sure, that too. But also, my dad's a Pittsburgh fan, and that wouldn't be great.
Very good. All right, that's going to do us tonight for the Elite Eight. Another one, another good one.
No. We got the outer.
Oh, the outer, of course.
yeah,
Don't let me.
Shaz.
Don't let
Hey,
me.
we love the outer.
Don't let me cut the outer off.
Mate,
Schnazzy,
the
your
outers are
favourites.
winning. The
Yeah.
outers are winning every week. So this week on the outer, we've got the Packers. Unfortunate not to get in, but they're just the quality of who they played last week probably hindered them a bit.
Yeah.
We still think they're a great side, but that loss to the Bucks is still weighing heavily on our minds.
Yep.
New to the outer, we have the Dolphins.
Welcome to the outer.
And Slammer is all over them, and we'll be wearing that jersey once a week.
I will be until they lose.
And I think if they keep winning, they probably have to get a few good wins on the trot to make it into
Oh,
the
yeah.
Elite Eight. But they're there, and then the
But
Cards,
if they win again on the weekend against the Chargers, that'd be 5 wins in a row. That'd get them to 6-3. We'd have to seriously start considering it. If a
Yeah,
couple
but
of
it's
those
the
teams
Chargers. It's a
but if a
two-win
couple of
side.
those teams in the 8 lose,
yeah, 100%.
then we'd have to seriously start considering it.
Yeah.
And then
You can't turn your nose up at 5 on the trot.
No, we can't.
No.
But we did when the Chicago won 5 on the trot.
But I think we can all agree that the Dolphins are going a bit better than the Bears.
No, I don't.
And did we not? Did we get the Bears into the Elite Eight one week?
Yeah,
I reckon we
they're
did.
We
scrape it.
still sitting there.
I didn't want to do that. But no, if the Cardinals and the Bills have a big game this week, which could shape that last spot in the Elite
they
Eight,
definitely could.
Yep.
They definitely
depending
could.
on some other results. So if the Bills
Absolutely.
win, expect them to stay. And if the Cards win, expect maybe both of them to be on the outer and the
Yeah.
Packers to jump in.
I love the outer. I can't believe I tried to cut it off, Schnazzy. I'm really sorry about that, my friend. That will actually do us for the Elite Eight this week. Will it not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
excellent.
All
All
right,
right,
we're all in agreement
just
there.
get
I
the
love when that
just getting the all clear, making sure we're all
What was that?
all the
Yeah.
the
All good.
producer
Jim?
Jim.
Yeah.
Happy with that one?
Jim's
Yeah,
happy with
very good, very good. Hey, touching on the tips quickly before we jump into this: 97, 92, 80
Yeah.
from right to left of screen. We are not.
on.
Yep. No, he's right.
Yeah, no, right
Play
to left
on.
of screen. Don't get that.
Let's
Don't
keep
get that
going.
dead silent.
I hate
Don't
when we
stop.
get dead
Don't-
silence.
I just hit that perfectly off the
Yep.
top of my dome.
He did.
I really did. So 97 to 92, 80. If you're wondering if Schnaz is confused, your Schnaz is on 97. Slammer
Well,
is
actually,
on
to be
92.
fair, it's more like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, that's what I was confused
Yeah.
about. It wasn't right to left. It
You're
wasn't
right.
one
He is
movement.
right, but then you got to jump over to the left and then go middle.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
Yeah,
We're probably
no.
both right.
Yeah.
No,
No, you're both, you're both
it
right.
was not sequential at all in the way you called it. I was just sitting there like, are you claiming 92 tips?
I'll
Yeah.
take it if I can. I'll
Unbelievable.
do whatever I can.
You're still probably 2 weeks away from 92.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's very tough.
It's probably right, though. I can't see you hitting 12.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
all right. So let's set the precedent early here for the boot bashing that's coming my way tonight. Very good. Tennessee Titans are going to host the Colts to get us going on Thursday Night Football this week. It should be a reasonable game. A pretty good defense in the Colts going up against the Tennessee Titans team that, they've had some good wins. They've had a couple of letdowns, but I think for the most part they'd be happy with how they're tracking at the moment.
The Colts fans,
Yeah.
they would be absolutely stoked. I think we are speaking to Chuck off air about this one. The Colts have about $84 million projected cap space next year.
Yeah.
What did you say? That was third most in the
Third
league?
most.
Was that? Yeah.
So they have, I think it's Jacksonville and the Jets with the most.
Yeah.
And then it's the Colts, and then I think it's New England. But-
Jacksonville and the Jets. They've got the most cap space. Boy, that's surprising.
yeah. And that's the thing here. So those two teams suck.
Yeah.
The Colts, their
Don't suck.
defense is
Yeah.
unreal. They just need to, go out there and spend some money, find some
They
players.
need a couple of
bring 'em in.
playmakers.
Do what Miami's done.
Yeah.
100%.
Go
Go
out,
out and
find
pick
your
some
players.
pieces. Yep.
And probably while you're out to find a quarterback.
Yeah, that's probably the glaring need at the moment, I would have thought. Who was it that we said that they were pretty into last week? Was it Darnold? I think it was Darnold. They're one of the teams that are reportedly into Darnold if he's getting shopped around.
I would like that fit for him behind a really good line. If they can use some of that money.
And Frank Reich's usually a pretty good quarterback coach as well
Yeah.
there. So that could be quite a good fit.
Do need some help in the receiver position as
That's
well.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
That's
they
where
definitely do. But you could get a good one in the cap there. Like there's enough.
without
There's
a doubt.
definitely
Yeah.
enough money there to get a few receivers and a quarterback.
But that's what I'd be shopping.
Yeah.
Your defense is pretty good. You're going to probably have to pay Darius Leonard in 2 years' time. So
Well, this is a
right
team
through
they
the
built.
cap.
They built this team for Andrew Luck, and they lost Andrew Luck a couple of years back. I mean, they built the line, they built a defense, and Andrew Luck was meant to be the guy. That
Yeah, a bit too late. Let him get banged up and have to retire early.
correct. So they kind of mucked that up. But in reality, that framework is still there. Plug and play someone like Darnold. I think
Tell you
you
what's
could
an
see you could see uptake
What's
there.
an interesting one here, Blaze,
Yeah.
that I've just come into my mind.
Oh, look
right?
out! This is dangerous.
Fire
So,
away.
like the Colts. Now,
Yeah.
I've spoken about teams potentially giving up a slew of draft picks and moving some pieces, perhaps, to bring in Trevor. That's potentially a team there that could move some draft picks and get to Trevor, or could offer New York some stuff to get Darnold in return. They keep Trevor, but they get some pieces as well. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's an interesting one there, I would have
Yeah,
thought.
what's
Yeah.
your space with that? It reeks of Madden a little bit, but I love it. I
Keep it
like. There's a few movers and shakers that could come to play. We haven't touched on the
Put a
Titans.
pin in it.
The
I don't-
Titans,
I don't mind it.
Yeah, Titans here, Schnazzy. What do you reckon?
I want Jadavion Clowney to have a good game.
You do.
Their defense is a bit lackluster. One of those things, their offense is just going to always put up the same, pretty much, same shit every week. They're Ryan Tannehill's going to go out there. Derek Henry's going to go out there. They're going to do what they're going to do. If we get some high impact plays on defense,
Yep.
that will really turn some games. And
100%.
against some of those bigger sides, they need that to win those games.
Yep. I mean, Clowney's probably one of the few people getting around that hasn't reacted to your bake.
That's true.
He didn't do anything after getting roasted, but most have turned on their, turned it up a little bit afterwards. But for the time being, Clowney remains dormant. So.
Yeah, that's what I want to see out of the Titans. But I think we've all selected it here. We've all gone 3 wins to the Titans. The
We
Titans
have.
at home.
Yep.
Thursday night football.
I think
Friday morning.
it's just a massive one. The Titans, they want to win the division, no doubt. And if they don't win this game on the weekend at home against the Colts, I think they'd be even.
Yeah, they would be. Yeah.
So it's a massive game. This is a game they have to win.
Yeah, this is massive. This is
They want
gonna
to be taken seriously.
If you're talking about marquee Thursday night football matches that have been
finally got a good one.
devoid of kind of any interest lately, this is certainly one with massive playoff implications, and and obviously divisional kind of title winners could be decided.
Oh,
in
100%.
this kind of
This is a
matchup.
massive. It's a 2-game swing, no doubt.
On the contrary, if the Colts win, look out.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
out. It's wide open.
It's that marquee matchup for them as well on the other side of that sword. So watch that one for sure. Friday morning Australian viewers, obviously a Thursday night over in the States there. But hey, the Giants and Eagles, an NFC East matchup here. The Eagles will come back off the bye and run into the New York Giants fresh off a win. However, I don't think that should make too much difference here. The Eagles they look to be building a little bit of momentum in terms of.
I wouldn't say that with any confidence.
In terms of just being a bit more happy with how they're going than the way they were.
Originally, Blaze, I just going to back the Giants here in this one because they've been pretty good the last 2 weeks, right? And the whole division has sucked as a whole. But the reason I've gone the Eagles here is that they had the bye on the weekend. Get nice and fresh, get ready, and anytime you've got 2 weeks to plan for an opponent, I love that. I think you shouldn't be losing those games, so that's why I've gone the Eagles here. I think this could be closer than we expect.
I think the
Andy
Giants,
Reid.
as you said, the last 2 games against the Buccaneers and also against the Washington football team last week, they've been going quite well.
Yeah.
The Eagles, before the bye, they played the Cowboys, and that was one of the worst games that I'd seen.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's when they had Danucci at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying. I don't have much confidence in picking the Eagles.
And that.
But I just on paper, the Eagles line up better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Travis Fulgham obviously is coming along great guns for them.
Yeah, the full god.
If he can just maintain, he's probably become a wide receiver 1 by virtue of everything
The
else
lack of
falling
everything
over.
else, yeah.
But, he's taking his opportunity and gone great guns. So you'd love to see that. Little sports narrative for you. 3 Eagles here.
Yeah,
no
let's
one's,
move
no one's
right
taking
along.
the Giants. The Packers and the Jags.
Another quick one.
Another quick one. The Packers should roll all over the Jacksonville Jaguars
yeah.
here, especially if there's no Minshew still.
No Minshew.
No Minshew still.
No.
So the Pack will get this one done. Don't worry about that. Probably just to cover the spread here, I would have thought, boys.
Yeah, I would have thought the Cheeseheads would get this one done pretty comfortably. They're at home against Jacksonville, boys. This should be ugly.
This stings, yeah. Stings on paper. Stings looking at it on the board up here. And Aaron Rodgers found a bit of form against a San Francisco defense, obviously devoid of a few players, but I think he's going to probably enjoy himself here as well, I reckon, Charlie.
100%. I'm like Ludham's going up in game 2 for the Jags. Yeah. It's not a great place to be going.
No, not up against Cheeses and the Cheeses and Lambeau.
Lambeau Field against Aaron Rodgers, it's a bit different for your second
tough
game
place.
of NFL football. Yeah.
And especially when you're in Jacksonville, one of the second
As
most
opposed-
deprived.
Yeah, as opposed to playing at home against the Texans. So,
Yeah.
it's a bit different. Yeah.
Bit of a learning coming up for him, I reckon, young
Yeah,
man.
would have
3
thought
Packers.
so.
I reckon anytime. What was it last week? I reckon Devontae Adams was paying like $2.10 for an anytime touchdown.
Yeah, right. Well,
If he's anywhere near that again, jump on it.
I wouldn't have thought he would be.
Yeah,
Yep.
Probably about $1.10.
I'll be very happy with that one. The Lions against the football team here, probably, I keep saying it, you probably ringing true actually how boring I find the Detroit Lions, and also the football team don't have a identity either. So
No, they don't. That's a good point.
It's a couple of faceless men going at
So
it here.
true, Blaze.
It's
So
very
true.
bizarre. But anyway, I think Detroit here at home. I fancy to get the job done here against Washington. I can't really see them. Alex Smith obviously here might be something fun, but outside of that,
Well, the Lions' home record is not
Abysmal.
great.
Yeah, no,
It's
not
not
great.
great.
Yeah, it's abysmal.
yeah.
Yeah, 5-14 in the last 19 games at
Yeah, that's
home.
a
So
concern.
that's not good. I'm taking the Washington football team.
Okay. Yeah.
Why? Because I don't like either of them. That's pretty much why. And I've chosen Washington based on the fact that, I don't know, Alex was okay on the weekend.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin's probably going to be the best player on the field next weekend.
Scary theory.
Yeah, they're both not very
You
good.
can tell in the way we speak about it. Like we struggle to talk about
It
these
is
two
like,
because
how are you going to get excited? How are you going to get the sport fans excited about this one?
no. Yeah,
Washington are going to Detroit. Whoa.
I wouldn't waste your time watching it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Lions. I think the Lions have a bit more talent on the field than the football team.
Yeah.
The football team will be. Like, I can see Alex Smith going out there and winning a game because he was a great quarterback before his injury.
100%. And that would be a nice sports narrative.
That would be a great narrative, but would also be good for the Lions to buck their current home form
Correct.
and start winning a few games. And also it'd be unreal if they win this game and then lose the next 3 and Matt Patricia's still there. That would be good. I reckon he's got this one down in his diary as a win.
Yeah, he's like, yep, this is one of my 5, so I'll
Yep.
be happy with that. The Cleveland Browns here are going to come and host the Texans, who offer a fresh win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know really how to pick this one. I've gone with... Who did I go with in the end?
gone with the
I
Browns.
went with the Browns. So, yeah, it's obviously... It's a true 50-50 in my mind. I think...
So if I told you Baker Mayfield wasn't playing, would you still take the Browns?
Yeah, see, I heard that in passing just before we went on air, and I'm not too happy with that because I don't even know who the
COVID protocols.
Is that right?
He doesn't have COVID, but I think he was in close contact.
Okay, well, I'm still going to take the Browns at home in Cleveland. I think they've probably just got a bit too much, and I'm really liking Myles Garrett's year. A bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he's tied for the sack leader in the league at the moment.
Yeah,
with
Him and
Donald,
Donald,
he's
I
having a
believe.
very good. Yeah.
So I like the way he's going about it in terms of a bit of a redemption arc there for obviously the sour way his season ended last year.
Yeah.
He's the number 1 pick as well. He's talented.
He's a talented
100%,
player. So I'm going
He's
to back
playing
him in.
whack-a-mole goal last year, Blaze, and
it
got
wasn't
very silly with it, didn't he?
It wasn't in intensity. He was on a
No,
football field,
he
so-
got confused.
Yeah,
No doubt.
It has been known to happen. But yeah, the Browns for me here, I think they might just bat a bit too deep for a Texans team that is not exactly free of its own issues.
I mean, at the end of the day, Blaze, we're talking about a team that's about 2-5 against a team that's, I think 5-3. Yeah. So I'm taking the Browns as well. Just hoping. Well, I was going to take the Texans. Now I'm sure the Schnars are taking the Texans. And as we've seen, I'm already 5 behind Schnars. So I need to make one up.
Yep.
So I need to make 5 up.
Throwing up a prayer.
Yeah. Well, not a prayer.
Not a prayer, but yeah.
If you can take the team that's probably favoured against Schnars again the Texans here, I'm gonna have to take that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think for mine, I've taken the Texans here. I gave JJ Watt a bake, but, he's a great player.
He's winding back on it now.
No, I'm not winding back on it.
He would never.
The thing here is that the Texans are still putting up points every week.
Yep.
They're still playing well. Their defense is lacking, and they've been in a lot of games, and they've had a pretty hard schedule. But the Browns, for mine, without Chubb at the running back, and now without Mayfield, no Odell Beckham, I just sort of see it hard to imagine where all the points are going to come
They're
from.
a bit light on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to get you there. I'm not too sure who their backup quarterback actually
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure. off the top of
But
my
you
head.
got to remember how bad the Texans' defense is.
Yes, but,
Yeah.
the Browns have struggled to put up some points recently.
Fair enough.
I think, it's going to be an interesting game, if nothing else, for just the unknown factor of it and how it's going to play out.
Deshaun Watson's going to go out there and do what he does. He's going to put up 21-ish points. It's
He's
just whether
the
the Browns can get more than
He's
that.
a consistent. Will Fuller had a pretty good game after some trade speculation during the week. So
He
I
did,
think,
actually, he had over 100 yards.
so I think Will Fuller is probably one to watch there. I think he can play a bit. I think he's.
Their offense isn't the issue.
No.
He's just injury prone as well.
Yeah.
That's the problem there.
Yeah, there's
Houston have
issues
got a lot of injury problems, really.
into a game
Would
here.
you say they have a problem?
Houston, yeah,
Absolutely.
I've been burnt by this tip earlier in the year,
Yeah, and you're doubling down.
and I am doubling down. I think I liked a little bit of the Panthers. Now I'm hoping C-Mac is going to hold up. I know he's bung his shoulder up a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's day to day at the minute.
Yeah.
I think if they have the chance to play him, I think they would.
Yeah.
And
You'd
I
have to
th-
expect so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why you keep saying yeah.
I don't know. I'm just more excited about the
Yeah.
fact that for the first week in about 7, Schnars has written the word Panthers on the board rather than Panthers.
I did write it, and I thought, should I cross that back off? And I was like, it's too hot.
It's true.
The heat's got to me.
It is heating up again in the booth here.
Sweaty.
I'm going to take the Panthers. The boys are going to take the Bucks. I think there's a little bit in that result last week. I think you probably will see a bit of a bounce back from Tom, but
I wouldn't have thought you'd have 2 back-to-back games like that from
No,
Tom.
I don't think so either. But
I
I also
don't get
think
this pick at all.
I also
Yeah.
think
No, I don't get this
I
pick
think
at all.
Carolina have been going all right. So I'm just
Jot this one down for the Bucks, no doubt.
I'm going to ride that one.
Yep.
Fair enough. That's fine. You can ride the waves on that one, and we'll
Yep.
go straight into the Miami Dolphins with that one, Blake.
Okay, you want to move straight
No.
on?
What about you go straight into your guarantee?
Very good from you, Shnazi.
Oh, fair enough then. We'll go straight into the guarantee. I'll put the hat on because I won last week. So what do we got? We got the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks to beat the Panthers. Blaze has pretty much guaranteed that one for us, so jot that one down.
It's really only a 3-legger.
in your notepad, yeah. Then we got the Bucks. No, I just said that, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah. So sorry, the Bucks and then the Packers, who we did mention before. That's why I'm getting confused. They're at $1.10. Bucks were at $1.36. Then we got New Orleans. New Orleans are playing the 49ers. They're at $1.24. Excuse me. The 49ers,
Well, you go,
the
champ.
49ers are just decimated with injuries, so you'd have to think the Saints are going to get home in that one.
You would have thought so.
And then Baltimore are playing
Patriots.
the Patriots. So you bundle all that up in a nice little multi. That'll give you $2.50, $50. That's a $125 return. Thank your mother.
Power played on our good friends at Sports.
Absolutely,
of
yeah.
course.
Thank your mother for the rabbits for
Or-
that one.
or
Take your
your,
$75 profit.
Your other
Have fun.
betting agency, Shnazi, you might appropriate every now and then.
We're points bet at the moment.
Points bet, are you flying? with?
Ladbrokes has been given the fluke.
Alan Iverson, points bet.
Yes.
Yeah, the answer. Very good. For
Wow. That's great podcast stuff, isn't it?
Dolphins Chargers straight into the next one. How about it?
You didn't like that at all.
2 of the youngest quarterbacks, 2 of the most promising
Tua.
quarterbacks.
Two of them.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
Great fun. Loving that.
Thanks for spoiling my momentum. 2 of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks going around. I can't wait. This is going to be my game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm all over the Dolphins, just like Slammer is at the moment. They are absolutely flying. Their defense is formidable. One of the best defenses in the game. Tua seems to have better ball control than Fitzmagic.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that ship's definitely sailed, and I reckon he'll be shipping out of there in the offseason.
I think so.
And then the Chargers. I mean, I love the Chargers. I think Joey Bosa was, only out for the one game, so we'll expect to see him back. Him and Ingram.
These are our Jersey Cartel. Jersey Schnars.
Oh,
Going up
are.
against each other.
this is the Jersey Bowl.
Oh,
Jersey Cartel Bowl.
Tua versus Bosa.
I'm calling it the Jersey Bowl.
Fair enough.
I love it.
Fair enough. Shaz's game of the week, the Jersey Bowl.
It's just worked
Yeah.
out perfectly, hasn't it? Don't you love it when a plan comes together off the fly like
And
that?
how's the Dolphins at 2-0?
And you're taking your respective team. Oh no, I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
taking the Chargers here.
Yeah.
What I was going to get to is I love the Chargers and I love some of the pieces they have, but just their inability to win and close out games and just be absolutely dumbfounded and finding new ways to lose games. It's Falcon-esque. It's concerning. And for that reason, Dolphins.
And this is in Miami as well. So
Yes,
that's,
it is.
That's another good reason there.
Like you touched on quite rightly, Schnaz, the two young quarterbacks going toe to toe here. Justin Herbert's year, he's moved into that front runner position for Rookie of the Year.
He has.
He has looked fantastic. He's throwing a bunch of yards, and I would really like, and I'm picking the Chargers, to see him go up against a really, really strong defense like the Dolphins that have been playing really well and get that win that is desperately eluding them at this point to the point of it almost being comical. And I think
Do you think it has anything to do with the college that he went to and the fact that they probably didn't win too many games, that he doesn't know how to finish out games and doesn't know how to finish out close
Oregon
ones?
were pretty good in his last few years. Didn't
Yeah.
start too well.
I don't have any kind of
Oregon. So when
blame
Oregon
to put
lost
on him.
Chip Kelly, they started going down a bit, and they went through a few coaches and rebuilt. And Herbert was there for the 4 years, and they started to play a lot better. But I think it's more systematic with the Chargers.
Yeah.
'Cause same with Phillip Rivers in the last 2 seasons. They were in so many games, but just couldn't find a way to win, or just found a way to lose.
I think I saw something this week that said that their 6 losses this year have combined for a total loss margin of 24 points.
yeah.
That's not good.
And there's a lot of those games where you've been up
So
by
it's that
7
that's 4 a game.
Is it
I think they're 4 games that are up by 17 points
In
at
a
some
row.
stage. Yeah.
and lost? Yeah. So which was an NFL record, I believe.
No, that might have been the Falcons.
I'm pretty sure
No, no,
it's the
no.
Really?
It's the Chargers.
7 in a row.
Yeah,
4.
Pretty
4.
sure it's the Chargers.
It's not good.
So it's dark days down in there. Not in San Diego anymore. I was about to say that, but 2 Dolphins, 1 Charger here. We're going to move into a Raiders Broncos
Divisional game.
matchup
AFC
here.
West.
Another divisional game. 3 Raiders for the boys here. The Broncos just kind of.
You off your man, Drew Lock?
Yeah, I'm not off him, but I don't think he can get the job done here against a Raiders team that has been looking a lot better of late. I think they've kind of turned a bit of a corner.
Yeah.
And they'd look to put a bit of a statement as the second best team in that division at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt, Blaze. If they can win this one on the weekend, that would cement their spot in the number 2 spot in that division and probably get them
wild
pretty
card.
close to getting a wild card spot if they can just finish off the year, probably 50-50. Honestly, the Raiders have just been playing better than the Broncos pretty much for the best part of the whole year.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's in Las Vegas, so you'd have to think everything points towards a Raiders victory.
In the
here.
Death Star.
I think the concerning thing for mine with the Broncos is just their last 2 quarters. So their fourth quarter in the last 2 games, they've come back and the scoreboard's been made to look a lot better because of that.
Yeah, they've been blown out.
But largely for the first 3 quarters of those 2 games, they've been out of it. And I just don't think you can keep playing like that because it's not consistent football.
no.
They're only playing a quarter of a good game.
And
living on a
potentially
prayer
it
the
could
whole
just be
time.
more that the other team's just getting lazy and,
just-
just already put the cue in the rack.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just sit the safeties back a bit deeper. Don't
Yeah.
worry about rushing as much. Just,
Just
play out the clock.
protect scores quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably one to watch there with the Broncos. They'd want to probably come out of the gates and actually show something because
No
it's
doubt.
been a bit subpar of late in terms of their first
And
halves.
Drew Lock as well. You've got the rest of this season to prove that you're the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. He has not had a great year at all, really, has he?
No.
After I pumped him up a fair bit in the pre-season.
4-1 in the last 5 last year.
Yeah,
We're all over him.
we were really about him. So,
Be
yeah,
interesting to
he
see
needs to
how
have
we
a
go.
pretty good
Yeah.
end of the year. Otherwise, he could be in trouble.
And Elway's been pretty trigger happy on their quarterbacks
100%
over the
he
last
has.
3 seasons. So.
Really has.
100%.
The Cardinals and the Bills is going to be my game of the week.
Fair enough.
Chucky.
You're
I don't
gonna
know
have
if you're
that
going
one,
to
are
chuck
you?
that one.
Well, I would have thought about it, Blaze, but you can have it.
All right,
That's
no
fair
worries. No worries, Big Chiefer. The Cards and the Bills will go toe-to-toe in Arizona out in the desert. Buffalo fresh off that marquee win we were talking about, but they do need to stack another one here. I'm going to back him in to get it done against another defense that has been struggling of late, and Josh Allen has obviously shown in the weeks previous that he has the capability to kind of expose those undermanned secondaries or underperforming secondaries. So I'm going to take that one there. Him and Diggs and alike just get the job done.
Yeah, this is a real toss of a coin for mine, Blaze. It was very hard to pick this one. I've ended up pretty much just going with the home team and the fact that it's a very long trip and
Geography.
it's indoors and it's going to be bloody hot in Arizona. The Bills aren't really used to that. They won't be used to that sort of weather. So that's
like
why
here,
I've gone.
mate.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a friggin' sweatbox in here, no doubt. The muggy weather of Adelaide tonight, Southern Adelaide, is just abysmal. Yes, and the fact that we can't have any fans on because of the sound quality. So that is a real bitch.
What you got, mate?
You do, you absolutely do. And then when we had the door open and then thunderstorms rolled in, so we're having absolutely no luck tonight. But
Back to the football.
I'll be going the Cards.
The room also has 4 walls, a ceiling, 2 lights.
Does it?
Yeah.
And a crap ton of pennants.
No, I'll be taking the Cards as well. I think. Jeez, we've lost the plot here. But no, the Cardinals for mine. I think, as Slam mentioned, it's quite the trip.
Yep.
From New York all the way down to Arizona. I think the Bills are playing well, but the Cardinals are just so inconsistent. They seem to play well one week and then not so well the next. So this must be their week on, and just all those things there, and the inconsistency of the Bills and the 2 previous games from week 7 and 8's performance weren't too good. So I'm jumping back on the Cardinals bandwagon. I'm getting behind Kyler.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, the Bills come to town with a pretty good defense as well. So
no doubt.
there's obviously going to be a bit of...
This is definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
It's game of the week, isn't it, for you?
It's my game of the week, baby. It should be a good one, too. Fingers crossed, anyway.
Bit of a snoozer next.
Yeah, a bit of a snooze. I think the 49ers, we're saying it to bloody death, and I want to try and pivot away from this topic, but they just have no personnel left that are healthy.
There's no cattle.
There's no cattle, indeed. That's exactly what I'm trying to pivot away from. On the contrary, New Orleans have got all theirs back, so they're flying.
Oh, they're a huge herd, no doubt.
If you're going to watch this game, just watch to see how the Saints offense go, because Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Kamara, they've got to work them all in. They're going to use Taysom Hill at quarterback.
Yep.
Drew Brees has got, used to have a rocket arm. Maybe subsided a bit.
Not doing that anymore, but
all the pieces are there. Let's just see if they can put it all together at the right end of the season, make a Super Bowl run.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
They're probably going to even be better for this in the long run, due to the fact that they've had a few blokes that get arrested a fair bit, come back. You only got to play about half a year here, and they've got a 2-game lead in the division over the Bucks, essentially, with having the split like that. So everything's looking really well for the Saints. Probably haven't been hitting their straps at all, probably for the last 4 weeks. But on the weekend, really got back to business. And
It's been building.
Yeah, should get another good win here and really start to get into some great
Well,
form.
they've got their surgeon back at quarterback there, obviously, Drew Brees, and now he's got all his utensils in terms of Michael Thomas and Sanders and whatnot. So expect him to dissect the 49ers undermanned defense and probably get away with covering the spread here, I would have thought, much the same as the Packers did the week before. The Rams and the Seahawks here, it is in SoFi. And I'm
Your
going
game of the week?
This is without a doubt my game of the week.
I'll
Schnazzy.
take the home team and let you go from there, my friend.
This has to be my game of the week because the rest of them not too flash. But I'll be taking the Seahawks here in SoFi in Los Angeles against the Rams. Now, an interesting one here, Blaze. The Seahawks are $2.08 on Sportsbet to beat the Rams.
Yep.
I'd be jumping on that all day.
It's good money. That'd be a best
great.
bet.
Yeah, but no, great. Now you've tarnished it. Don't touch it, sports fans. Do not touch it. He's just put his words on it. But yeah, the Seahawks, I think I did say a stat about it the other week, but I can't quite remember what it is. But I don't think Russell Wilson loses too many games back to back.
Yeah.
He bounces back. He won't be impressed with what happened on the weekend. I'd expect him to win here.
Yep.
I think the fact that the game is in LA and the Rams are coming off a bye and have 2 weeks to prepare for this is probably why they're going in favourites. But as Slammer mentioned, the Seahawks Russell Wilson doesn't lose too many in a row. And I just think it's probably going to be almost... The Rams have a great defense, but I don't think their defense is going to be able to nullify Russell Wilson and the offense.
Yeah.
And I just don't have faith that Jared Goff and his squad of men are going to put up enough points to...
I like that assessment.
All the rules are geared heavily towards the offense in the NFL, obviously. So I think a good offense usually beats a good defense, as we saw in last year's Super Bowl. So I think the Seahawks with a good offense will probably have enough to get over the top of the Rams' pretty solid defense. Yeah. And the Rams' offense hasn't exactly been doing too much either. So even though the Seahawks' defense is a little bit less than the Rams defense, I think the Seahawks should still be able to cover here.
I would love...
Blaze, you've clearly got a contrasting opinion.
Well, I'd
probably a lot less.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a contrasting opinion as much as I think I've got... Obviously, the Rams are the home team here, and I like a couple of matchups. I like Donald on that line and getting pressure to Russell and trying to make sure that he's under the pump. Russell is very obviously mobile and quick, and he's been around long enough to understand when they're blitzing and whatnot. But I think if Donald can get enough of that natural innate pressure on him and forcing him to make a couple of mistakes, combine that with a guy called Jalen Ramsey, who I just hope and Yeah, maybe I'm living on a prayer a little bit here, but if Ramsey can isolate
Johnny.
Bon Jovi, if he can shut down either one of Lockett or Metcalf and really make life a bit difficult for the other, I just fancy him a little bit. There's a little bit of a smoky chance here.
Yeah, well, I just don't know if there's anybody in the whole league that can stop DK Metcalf.
Well, he might not.
He's a size problem.
He might not be able to.
There's just nobody that big,
If
nobody that strong,
Ramsey,
nobody that
if
fast.
Ramsey can go toe to toe with Lockett, and then they can try and run some double coverage on Metcalf,
Well,
maybe. But
good luck.
yeah, well, absolutely good luck.
No doubt.
I don't envy him. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
yeah. I wouldn't want that job.
No way.
Actually, I would. The pay would be sick.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd go out there and embarrass myself with that pay.
Absolutely steamrolled
Yeah.
by TK.
I'd be Philip Gaines. He sucks.
Steelers and Bengals. The Bengals.
Steelers and Bengals. We're on the home stretch here, sports fans. Stay with us. The heat is starting to get to us. A bit of delirium is slipping into the booth.
Who knows?
Pittsburgh 3 ways here. Don't get it twisted. There's a bit of a mishap against the Cowboys in terms of probably should have done the job a bit easier. However, it did get done, and I think they'll probably move to 9-0 this week.
Yeah, I'm also going to tip the Steelers here, Blaze. However, I do think this one will be closer than
Upset
anticipated. I think this is upset potential. Okay. I think the Bengals have got the ability to shock you on offense. And the Steelers, let's be honest, they didn't play very well on the weekend.
No, they didn't.
And that doesn't always... Like that, when you have a bad one like that, it doesn't always snap you back out of it straight away. Sometimes you get into a bit of a slump and a bit of a funk, like we saw with the Chiefs when they lost to the Raiders the other week. They hadn't been playing great for a couple of weeks before that. Now the Steelers might be just getting into a little bit of the slump there.
Okay.
You go out against the Bengals, a divisional rival, like it was against the Raiders. You can potentially get shown up and have a bad one, and a game that maybe means a lot more to Cincinnati than it does to Pittsburgh. Well, so I wouldn't be shocked here.
You're making a reasonable case.
The Bengals aren't a pushover like they were in the previous seasons either. Like,
and have they played the Bengals yet this year?
Not that I'm aware of.
No,
not
that
I can
I'm aware
remember.
of.
So the first time they're getting to see Joe. So yeah,
and T. Higgins as well has come a long way since the start of the season. AJ Green's starting to get a little bit better. They're off the back of a bye, but I think just going into Pittsburgh, when you put the two lists on paper, you'd favour the Steelers and the Steelers at home. But I do agree with you, Slammer. Like they are, maybe this is the start of their little rut before the playoffs. And
absolutely.
Actually, it's quite simple. All you need to do is run Bernard 15 times and you cash in. So maybe have a think about that, Zach Taylor. But anyway,
absolutely.
For the time being, the Steelers will take this one 3 ways for us, and we'll move into the second to last game for the week. The Ravens moving into Boston. To take on the New England Patriots up in Foxborough there. The Patriots, we've got, I don't know but I think me and Schnars have concerns about Cam Newton and the way he's playing at the moment.
No doubt.
I think some people...
I think he's played 2 good games all year and the media jumped all over it.
Yeah, exactly.
The hype was around real. a lot of big dollar figures and saying they should commit to him long term, but since then he's gone to war since the COVID. Since he had that COVID.
I think he's going to learn pretty quick this week against a really strong defense.
He did not play well against New York. If you can't...
Nah.
He didn't play well against the New York Jets. And they have been abysmal all year.
Yeah.
I don't see how there's any way that you go up a team like the Ravens.
Yeah.
One of the best defenses in the league. How they're going to get it done. And the worst thing as well here, like looking away from the offense of the Patriots, is their defense.
Yeah.
They pride themselves on defense.
They were getting torched today.
They gave up 27 points.
Yeah.
27
and
points.
gave up quite a few distance. Like they gave away a couple of long scores, and they gave away a couple of pass interference calls on long throws. Didn't look confident in the secondary at all.
No, and I think it's just not what you're used to seeing from the Patriots. So both sides of the ball, it's concerning. So I think the Ravens just walk over them quite comfortably.
I think they're escaping scrutiny at the moment for some reason, but it's hard to pinpoint. But I don't think they're being held accountable as much in the media as they probably should be. They're having an absolute shocker year at the moment, the Patriots. They'll be picking like 6th at the moment.
I think everyone knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Well, they were. How hot were they about the Patriots at the start of the year? And they've dropped away horrendously. Speaking of another team that's probably is not copping any share of flack from what they should, considering they're on a 4-game skid, and that's the Bears.
Yeah.
Into our next game of Bears versus Vikings here.
Indeed. And they're going to run into a Vikings team that has found its identity in the form of previously Darryl, now Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, he is flying.
He's gonna. The Bears' defense is pretty good against the run. Historically and certainly in recent memory. However, they've got a real challenge here against a Vikings team that's running hot.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
The Vikings behind Dalvin Cook are running absolutely rampant at the moment.
Yep.
I'd be taking the Vikings here because the Bears' defense, their pass rush is pretty good, but I just think the escapability that Dalvin Cook has, and Kirk's not being made to throw the ball. He's not
No,
being made to sit in the
that's what
pocket
we've
much
said.
anymore.
Yeah.
We've been saying that all year.
They've found their balance.
They found their balance, and the Bears' offense has just got nothing.
Has no balance.
Yeah. When I said
It's
about the
got nothing to
Vikings
balance.
being potential sneaky dark horse at the start of the year, this is what I'd envisioned.
Yeah.
Power running the ball with Dalvin Cook and just going ballistic with him.
Yeah.
If he hadn't missed all those games, Blaze,
They
and
could've
had just
been-
had 100 ish yards in every game, not only would they be in a much better position,
Pushing it
we
back.
might be just be talking about Dalvin Cook having a sneaky MVP
Yeah.
type year.
We got
Like-
injured against the Seahawks.
In the absolute
Yeah.
truest form of the word,
Yeah.
most valuable player to
Yeah.
their respective team, Dalvin Cook has to be in that conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, you remove statistics.
He
and,
has
you know,
made them
all
a
the rest.
hell of a lot better.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a bona fide stud, and I think in a class of running backs,
Yeah.
he's in that A1 top tier up there with Kamara and Zeke before he dropped off, and Sake before he got
Saquon.
injured.
Derrick
That kind of
Henry,
stuff. Derrick Henry,
Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs.
He's absolutely up there with the best of them, no
100%.
doubt. No doubt. And at the
100%.
moment, he is the best of
He's a
them.
super entertaining player to watch too.
Absolutely.
His highlight plays are fantastic. Jump cuts, explosive,
And he
all
does
the
it.
rest of it.
He does it receiving and rushing as well.
does.
He's a true two-form back.
He does. Very, very entertaining. Hey, that would just about do us tonight, folks. We'll be happy to get out of the sweat booth. Hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Jump through the socials real quick. Big shout out to Jersey Cartel, as always, for the sponsorship on the show. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. Twitter, SSBF Podcast. And for all your podcast needs, we are literally just about everywhere, I'm pretty sure. If we're not somewhere where you listen to your podcast, please reach out and tell us, because we'll try and get on there. We're working on Amazon at the minute, but we're not sure how that's going to work out.
Haven't heard
just
back,
yet.
yeah.
Bezos.
We're into him. But yeah, give us a follow on any of those platforms. It really helps the channel grow, and we appreciate the support immensely. Likewise with the YouTube, if you're lucky enough to be watching us. I'm not sure if it's luck, actually. But Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan there as well. Subscribes and likes there help the channel to continue to grow. With my little spiel out the way, as we love to do, Slammer, do you want to sign us off? And
Yeah, I'd love to, mate. He's been Slim, I've been Slam. That's the Bandwagon Fan. Good night.